Good morning. Today, we're going to break down a topic that's often in the headlines but not always easy to understand. In global economics, few words spark as much debate as tariff. You might hear politicians, business leaders, and news anchors mention tariffs when talking about international trade, but what do they really mean for our daily lives? Simply put, a tariff is a tax on goods imported from other countries, an extra fee paid before a foreign product can be sold here. This tax is usually collected at the border, and it's added to the cost of the imported item, making it more expensive for businesses and, ultimately, for consumers like you and me. Governments use tariffs for a couple of main reasons. First, they can raise money for the country, just like any other tax. Second, and perhaps more importantly, tariffs are used to protect domestic industries by making imported goods more expensive, giving local businesses a better chance to compete. For example, imagine you're shopping for a new truck. If a foreign-made truck costs 25% more because of a tariff, you might decide it's a better deal to buy an American-made truck instead. This can help American manufacturers sell more vehicles and keep jobs in the country. Tariffs have been used in industries like steel, agriculture, and technology to give local companies a fighting chance against cheaper imports. Supporters say this helps preserve important industries and national security. The goal is to encourage buying local, support jobs, and strengthen the economy. When people buy more American-made products, it can mean more work for local factories, more jobs for workers, and more money circulating in our communities. But there's another side to the story. Tariffs can also mean higher prices for businesses and consumers, and sometimes fuel inflation. When it costs more to import parts or products, companies may pass those costs on to shoppers, making everyday items more expensive. Small businesses that rely on imported goods can struggle to keep prices low, and families may feel the pinch in their wallets. It's a balancing act between protecting jobs and keeping costs affordable. As we look at the White House's latest policy, remember, a tariff is a tax on imports, designed to reshape the economic landscape. These decisions can have ripple effects across the entire economy, influencing everything from job growth to the price of groceries. So, as we dive into what these new tariffs mean for America, keep in mind both the benefits and the challenges. Understanding tariffs helps us see how global decisions can impact our everyday lives. The headline is making waves across the industry. A new 25% tariff on all imported heavy-duty trucks set to take effect on October 1, 2025. This sweeping policy change is poised to disrupt the way businesses source and purchase their commercial vehicles, and it's already sparking intense debate among manufacturers, logistics companies, and policymakers alike. The announcement has sent shock waves through the trucking world as companies scramble to understand how this will affect their operations and bottom lines. The new tariff covers a wide range of vehicles, including semi-trucks, dump trucks, and other commercial vehicles that are absolutely essential to keeping our supply chains running smoothly. These trucks are the backbone of industries like construction, retail, agriculture, and manufacturing, moving goods and materials across the country every single day. With the new tariff, the cost of acquiring these vital vehicles is set to rise significantly for any business relying on imports. The tariff specifically targets fully assembled trucks imported from any foreign country, making vehicles from major exporters like Mexico, Japan, and Germany much more expensive overnight. For years, these countries have supplied a significant portion of the trucks used on American roads, prized for their reliability and advanced technology. Now, importers and dealers will have to rethink their strategies as the price gap between foreign and domestic trucks widens dramatically. The primary goal of this policy is to make American-made trucks more attractive to buyers, encouraging businesses to shift their demand away from imports and toward vehicles built in the United States. By leveling the playing field, the administration hopes to boost domestic manufacturing, create new jobs, and strengthen the American trucking industry. For buyers, this could mean new incentives to consider homegrown brands and models. For trucking companies, both large and small, this is nothing short of a game changer. Budgets, investment plans, and fleet upgrade schedules will all need a complete overhaul. Companies that have relied on affordable imports may now face tough decisions about whether to absorb higher costs, pass them on to customers, or seek out new suppliers. The financial impact could be significant, especially for those operating on thin margins. The ripple effects of this tariff will be felt throughout the transportation industry. from logistics giants managing massive fleets to small owner-operators who depend on a single truck for their livelihood. As costs rise, we can expect to see changes in freight rates, delivery schedules, and even the types of trucks on the road. The entire ecosystem, from warehouses to fuel stations, will need to adapt to this new reality. This move is a clear signal that the administration is doubling down on its America First trade strategy, prioritizing domestic industry and jobs over cheaper foreign alternatives. Supporters argue that it's a necessary step to protect American workers and rebuild critical manufacturing sectors, while critics warn of higher prices and potential trade tensions. The impact of this new tariff will be felt quickly, reshaping the market for heavy-duty trucks in ways that are still unfolding. As the industry braces for change, all eyes are on how businesses, workers, and consumers will adapt to this bold new chapter in American trade policy. President Trump's message is clear. The new tariff is about protecting American companies and jobs. The administration argues foreign competitors have long undercut U.S. manufacturers, and this tariff is meant to level the playing field. By making imports pricier, the hope is buyers will choose American-made trucks, boosting demand for domestic production and jobs. The policy is rooted in the belief that a strong manufacturing base is vital for economic and national security. It's a bold signal. The government is ready to use trade powers to defend key American industries. Who wins? U.S.-based truck manufacturers like PACCAR, Peterbilt Kenworth, and Daimler's Freightliner stand to gain the most. With imports more expensive, their trucks become the go-to choice, likely increasing sales and production. This boost could ripple out to American parts suppliers and smaller businesses in the supply chain, creating jobs and investment. The U.S. Treasury also benefits. Tariffs are taxes, and the government could collect billions in new revenue. With $128 billion in heavy vehicle parts imported last year, the financial stakes are huge. This money could fund programs or reduce the national debt. For American manufacturers and workers, the new tariffs could mean a much-needed shot in the arm, but not everyone will benefit equally. The flip side? Higher prices for imported trucks, and likely for domestic ones too, as market prices adjust. Small businesses and independent truckers, already operating on thin margins, may find it harder to afford new vehicles. This could squeeze out smaller players, leading to more industry consolidation. Higher truck costs mean higher shipping fees, which get passed down to consumers as price hikes on everyday goods. Economists warn this could fuel inflation, making life more expensive for everyone. Tariffs may also limit choices and slow innovation, as foreign models become less accessible. In the long run, less competition could mean fewer options and slower progress for American businesses. The global response has been swift and critical. Mexico, the top exporter of heavy trucks to the U.S., warns the tariff could hurt both countries' industries, since many trucks contain U.S.-made parts. Japan and the EU are reviewing whether the new tariffs violate trade agreements, raising the risk of disputes. Australia has condemned related pharmaceutical tariffs, highlighting diplomatic tensions. There's growing fear of a trade war. Retaliatory tariffs could spiral, hurting global growth. Markets have already reacted with volatility, especially in Asia and among companies tied to affected industries. The Federal Reserve notes such policies can drive up consumer prices and create uncertainty for businesses. The world is watching closely as the U.S. redraws the rules of trade. The truck tariff is just one part of a sweeping new trade package that's set to reshape how goods move into the United States. While the focus has been on vehicles, a range of other products are also being targeted, signaling a much broader strategy from the administration. These new tariffs are designed not just to protect American jobs, but to encourage companies to invest and manufacture more within U.S. borders. For example, imported kitchen cabinets and bathroom vanities now face a steep 50% duty, while upholstered furniture is hit with a 30% tariff. These are significant increases, and they're expected to have a real impact on the market. The administration hopes these measures will make it more attractive for companies to produce these goods domestically rather than relying on cheaper imports. The ultimate goal is to revive U.S. furniture manufacturing, especially in states like North Carolina and Michigan, which have long histories in the industry but have seen factories close and jobs move overseas. By making imports more expensive, the The hope is that local factories will see a resurgence, bringing back jobs and boosting local economies. Last year alone, Americans imported $25.5 billion worth of furniture, with the vast majority coming from Vietnam and China. These countries have become major suppliers due to their lower production costs. But the new tariffs are intended to level the playing field for American manufacturers. These tariffs aim to shift that market back to domestic producers, encouraging consumers to buy American-made products. However, this shift is likely to come with a trade-off: higher prices for shoppers. As the cost of imported goods rises, consumers may notice price tags creeping up at their local furniture stores, at least in the short term. Perhaps the most dramatic move is a 100% tariff on imported branded or patented pharmaceuticals, unless the manufacturer is actively building a plant in the US. This is a bold step aimed at encouraging pharmaceutical companies to invest in American facilities and reduce reliance on foreign drug production, which has been a concern for both economic and health security reasons. Through these sweeping measures, the administration is signaling a broad push to bring manufacturing home across multiple industries, from furniture and vehicles to pharmaceuticals and beyond. The message is clear: the US wants to be less dependent on foreign supply chains and more self-sufficient in critical sectors. And this may just be the beginning. As national security probes expand, more tariffs could be on the way, affecting even more products and industries in the months ahead. The numbers tell the story. The U.S. imported $128 billion in heavy vehicle parts last year, with Mexico as the top source. Furniture imports hit $25.5 billion, with Vietnam and China dominating. U.S. furniture manufacturing jobs have halved since 2000, now at 340,000. The pharmaceutical market is massive, with over $85 billion in active ingredients, about half made domestically. A 100% tariff on imported drugs could sharply raise costs for patients and insurers. The government projects up to $300 billion in new tariff revenue this year. But remember, these costs are often passed on to American consumers. What does all this mean for you? Expect higher prices on big-ticket items, trucks, furniture, even prescription drugs. Everyday goods could also get pricier as shipping costs rise. Inflation may eat into your budget, making it harder to keep up with expenses. On the flip side, the hope is for more U.S. manufacturing jobs and a stronger industrial base. For some communities, this could mean new opportunities and economic revival. Ultimately, these tariffs are a gamble: more jobs and made in the USA products, but at the cost of higher prices. The true impact will unfold over time, shaping dinner table conversations across America.